Hello, our dear professors. This is Rusal Husseino, who is going to present the final assessment second to you. The case that we are going to analyze is arçelik from the Kaizen group. So we are going to get into the problem and the solutions deeply. There are three main problems facing with the company these days. The first main problem is the high amount of expenses spent on the training sessions for employees. Arçelik responsibles have believed that the more expenses that they are spending on their employees trainings, the more output that they are earning from the employees. So this thought of them let arçelik spend a high amount of expenses for the training sections of new hired employees. Another major problem is the difficulty of analyzing whether the amount spent on a training satisfy the desired performance outcomes or not. So the huge amount of money has been put by the company for a long time for the training sessions of employees, but the company responsibles and HR department are not sure about whether they are getting the desired performance outcomes from employees or not. The third major problem is the stress and anxiety brought by the COVID-19 pandemic, because this pandemic has been affecting the measurability of this program, which measures the performance outcomes that are derived from the expenses spent on the training sessions. There has been some investigations, and there has been some recommendations derived out of these investigations. 319-degree observation method has been shown that this program, which is about spending a high amount of money for the training sessions of employees, is insufficient according to the Kaizen Group's investigations. But we can use another methods to deeply analyze whether this program is useful and beneficial for arçelik or not. Some of these methods are role-playing, leaderless group discussion, and in-basket tests. And we are going to deeply analyze the pros and cons of both of these methods in the coming slides. Role-playing. It's a method consisting of an expert who encounters the targeted employees. As other methods, this method also has pros and cons. The main pros of this method are being social intermutual. This method shows that this program providing simulation for real-life cases, and it's being indicator for interpersonal skill set for the employees. The cons of the method are confidence lowering, intimidation, possibility of life outside the job factors affecting the employees, and the COVID-19 barrier. If we move to the leaderless group discussion, this method is about the employee groups that are analyzed by the outsider experts, and in these groups there are no any leaders in the team, so everyone in these teams are equal, and their performances are being measured by the experts. There are also some pros and cons of this method as well. The main pros of this method are direct depiction of the interpersonal skill set. The process in this method is standardized, and it is the simulation for real life issues, as it was in the role-playing method too. The main cons of the method are infeasibility for a large number of employees, because it makes it harder for the companies like arçelik to measure all of their employees as a group. So this is time consuming. Another cause of the method is probability of unfair distribution, and also COVID-19 barrier that affects the employees in terms of their increasing stress levels and anxiety levels. Another method is in-basket tests that can be used to measure whether whether the arçelik can measure the efficiency levels of this program. This method has some characteristics like multiple tasks and duties and restricted time span. This method basically aims to evaluate critical thinking abilities, interaction and communication skills, problem solving skills, and working under pressure capabilities. In basket test, there are some pros and cons. An example to the pros can be a direct depiction of the interpersonal skill set because of the having the same test. Another one is the standardized procedure, which makes it objective. And the last one is that this method can be a simulation for the real life issues and problems. About the example to the cons, one example can be that this method cannot depict the whole picture. Also, the psychological state of the employees can have a slightly discriminatory effect on the results. And the last one is that this method requires the time and group gathering, and COVID-19 problem, which does not provide these means to the company responsibles. As a summary, about the overall summary of the arguments, there are arguments that support the given methods, and there are the ones which does not support. One of those supportive arguments is that the arçelik company took its precautions against COVID-19 and handled the situation with its employees in mind. Other one is the results of an academic research, which shows that the interpersonal training helps to improve job performance and employee productivity. And the last one is the results of the surveys that show that the employees found these training sections really valuable. About the negative arguments of this method, one example is that there is a high uncertainty about the returns of investment in interpersonal skill training. Other argument is about the measurement of the effectiveness of the training, which is being evaluated by the observable change in the employees' knowledge, skills, and behaviors after the training section has finished. The other argument is the results of an academic research, which shows that there might be low rate of training retention. And the last one is the results of surveys showing that there might be no need for the usage of skills learned during the pandemic. So what we are going to discuss in the parts the solution. I'm going to conclude our case analysis here. Overall, when the arguments are evaluated, the given decision should be placing the program on hold until the COVID-19 pandemic settles down. Because the trade-off between the expenses and the benefit of interpersonal training is in gray line, the meaning that the assessment on time of crisis is very difficult to measure in arçelik, and it requires time and through harsh programming and planning. Thank you for your attention.